some reports have come out today rumouring, well not rumouring, Steve Ballmer has met up with the Adobe CEO Shantanu Niyama or something like that, there his name is. Anyway, the two of them have got together. It was reported that Steve Ballmer went to Adobe headquarters with a few other people, and obviously nobody really knows what they sat down and discussed for real, but a lot of rumours are going around saying that and these rumours have stemmed from an article that was written in the New York Times, but a lot of people are speculating that these talks have been all about Adobe and Microsoft getting together in order to stop Apple's dominance within the mobile market, mainly the iPhone, that type of thing. Now, I'm no big expert on Adobe products or anything at all like that. I am much more qualified in Microsoft products than I am even in Apple products, but I'm not saying I'm you know, a highly qualified Microsoft certified systems engineer or anything at all like that. But however, I was just thinking about this, and I thought to myself, you know, even if the two did get together, what damage could they really do to Apple at this current time in the market? And that is a genuine question I'm asking you guys, because I've sat and thought about it, and I'm not too sure. I don't know whether if they did get together that they could cause a problem for Apple, or you know, if they do get together, you know, would it put a dent in Apple's radar whatsoever? Some of the things that I took into consideration was, obviously Flash is obviously going to be the main talking point within mobile devices. Now, Apple don't have Flash running on iOS 4. So in other words, the iPad and the iPhone and the iPod Touch, they can't access Flash applications on the net, or videos or anything like that. So it's not like if Microsoft and Adobe got together and kind of like form some coalition, that they could take that away from Apple and therefore take a big punch in Apple's face, because Apple don't already, they don't run it, so, and they're doing pretty well taking that into consideration. I mean, it's not like they're lacking in sales on the iPad or the iPhone or anything at all like that. Don't get me wrong, I understand that a lot of developers and a lot of people would love to see Flash on the iPad and the iPhone, and that's their own personal preference, and that is their right to either demand that or want that on a mobile device. From my understanding on Flash at the minute, there's not too many mobile devices that do run Flash applications. I could be wrong, and the ones that do are quite, there's a few teething problems with it. Now, quite a while back, Mr. Bit showed through various different ways you could get Flash applications running on an iPhone, and also taking into consideration that Apple have relaxed quite a few of their rules and regulations toward developers putting stuff forward on the App Store, in which case there was a big talk about surrounding that particular event that took place in Apple, that developers now may be able to push through applications with Flash on them. But that's a different video. So anyway, going on forward from that. So far, a question to you guys is, what damage could Microsoft and Adobe do if they did get together and aimed their coalition at Apple's mobile market? Now, another thing about this, I personally see this from Microsoft's point of view as Steve Ballmer clutching at straws. When Apple came out with the MacBook Air and they came out with the iPhone and the iPad, Steve Ballmer mocked Apple, saying things like, especially where the iPhone was concerned, who in their right mind is going to pay $500 for a mobile phone? Nobody's going to do it. Well, you look at the market now, and not just Apple, but the HTCs and stuff like that. They're not cheap mobile devices. And I personally see this as Steve Ballmer clutching at straws, because ever since Bill Gates has left Microsoft, there's no denying the fact that Microsoft has lost a little bit of their power and certainly their clutch on the technology market in terms of their software and PCs. And that can only be down to Steve Ballmer. He's at the head of the company at the minute, and so therefore he has to take responsibility for that. And he is the one now who has to take control of the situation and start trying to rectify the problems that he himself has actually openly admitted and created. And he sees Apple now as a big major, not the joke that he thought they were when they were bringing out the iPhone and the likes of the MacBook Air and stuff like that. They're obviously not the joke that he was making them out to be back then. And so now I feel that this is him clutching at straws and going to Adobe. Now another thing is that if Adobe, when we take into consideration that Apple don't run Flash, so therefore Adobe can't take that away from Apple, and so Apple are doing alright without it. But the other side of that is that Adobe could go to the Mobile 7 operating system and try and get Flash working on that if they haven't already done so. And so would that put a dent in Apple's iPhone sales, their iPod Touch sales and their iPad sales? Now, the thing that concerns me about that, or the thing that I'm asking you guys, because once again I don't have the answers, I'm asking you guys, would an already Flash is notoriously slow, it's buggy, there's a lot of problems with Flash. So would a notoriously problematic application such as Flash, when you combine that with quite an already bloated mobile operating system such as 7, when you combine the two, do you think that the end user is going to be coming up against some performance related issues due to the two being amalgamated? Because when you go back to, say, the interview that Steve Jobs gave to Walt Mossberg at D9, he stated there that this whole war surrounding Adobe and Apple was created because Apple chose not to use Flash on their mobile operating systems. Steve Jobs spoke to Adobe about it and said, listen, if you guys can go away, come back with a faster, more stable version of Flash, then we will certainly take a look at it and see if we'll put it. But Adobe never came back to them. They never obviously created something that was faster than what they currently have at the minute, and so therefore Apple never went with it. And because Apple didn't choose to run with this particular Adobe application, Adobe got all huffy about it and started, publishing certain articles about Apple not taking their product. And so, if obviously, and I'm not saying what Steve Jobs is saying is right, I don't know whether Flash would really hinder the performance of the iOS 4. I don't know that for definite, 100%. But if it is true, then surely that would have a performance-related problem with any mobile operating system. So what do you guys think? If the rumours are right and the speculation is right in terms of Steve Ballmer and the Adobe CEO, who I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, Shantanu. If the speculation is right about what they were talking about, do you think, whether you love Apple, hate Apple, or whether you love Microsoft or hate Microsoft, or you love Adobe or you hate Adobe, taking into consideration what we already know about all three of these different companies and what they have to offer in the mobile market today, do you think that if Microsoft and Adobe got together, that it would have a massive impact on what Apple are currently doing at the minute? I don't know. Personally, if I really sit down and think about it hard, I don't really think that it's going to have a massive impact on anything Apple is doing at the minute. Especially with the likes of HTML5 coming out, which again I don't know an awful lot about. I've read about it and stuff like that, and from what I've read, there's a lot of good reports and then there's a lot of negative reports, just like there is with Flash. But Apple certainly seem to think that HTML5 is the way forward in terms of the mobile market is concerned. So that's it, guys. That's my video today on Adobe and Microsoft getting together to stop Apple's grip on the mobile market. What are your thoughts? Let us know leave some comments down in the comment section, or do a video response. Either way, I'd be really happy. Don't forget, if you want more up-to-date news on technology, go across to techplanet30.com. There's loads of stuff going across, or happening across there, and you'll be more than welcome. Thanks very much for watching, and don't forget you can follow me on Twitter as well, which is www.twitter.com, iHarrison30, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks very much, and bye.